Testing, testing. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Amanda. Hope you're having a nice, cozy morning. It is our usual cozy clock tower time where we get up early, get our cups of coffee, which I got, and play some Blood on the Clock Tower, cozy style. But with Cozy been out a bit for the holidays and this time slot was just sort of needing to be filled, I thought, why don't we bring back one of our most beloved segments from our 48-hour stream last year and play some King of the Castle. We played this a few times on stream and it's always been a silly good time. Late afternoon, Amanda. Okay, well, that is one of the reasons why I chose this time slot, because it's good for, you know, US mornings almost universally across the country, but also for our European friends. Yeah, the EU people are all up because it's the afternoon. What up, Moonlight Huntress, aka Heather? How you doing? Unlike us Americans who had to struggle to wake up. I'm assuming you can hear me okay. We got the audio from the game coming through. Is the audio too loud? Does it make it hard to understand me? Let me know. Good morning, Tall Irish. Perfect. So if you have no idea what this is, you are about to become the head of a noble family within a kingdom that we are going to create together. And your kingdom will belong to some faction, one of 5 factions, and we'll vote 3 of these factions into our game today. And then we will, the 3 factions will scheme against each other to try to take control of the kingdom while I sit on the throne and make decisions and try to herd a bunch of cats from toppling my kingdom and essentially trying to overthrow me. Because my goal is to stay on the throne, and your guys' goal is to accomplish your goals and put your own vassal on the throne. So there's like a push and pull and an interactive experience with chat. Unfortunately, if you're watching on YouTube, YouTubers, this game only interacts with Twitch chat. It does not interact with YouTube. So you're free to passively enjoy the experience on YouTube. But if you want to be a character in the game, load up that Twitch stream, load up that Twitch browser, and get going. We still got some time before I open the floodgates. I can see everyone's arriving for my coronation here. That's great. This is a live webcam outside of the castle. Everyone arriving for our big coronation day, which should be fun. Hello, Petite Mort. And Alarm Turducken, good morning to you too. How's everyone been? I did a silly bonus stream last night playing Slay the Spire because I had, you know, free time on a Saturday night, and I thought, let's play Slay the Spire because I really like to get that climb done before the game came out. It came up on Monday's stream. We were talking about Slay the Spire. That was a good time. But I realized because I streamed Saturday and Sunday, and I'll be streaming tomorrow, that's 3 days of Evil Steve. So I think this is when everyone's going to realize there's too much Evil Steve in their life and probably unsubscribe and unfollow channel. Also, if you're watching from mobile, just know there is a plugin that works on desktop Twitch. I don't know that it works on mobile, but if you are on Twitch, you'll see a King of the Castle overlay. You can see your character, your noble stats and stuff like that when you end up starting the game. You'll see your character. Thank you, Learjet. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, Lars, it's totally worth it. Yeah, never too much Evil Steve. That's what I like to hear. That's what I love to hear. Trying to think. Oh, so this game is free to play. It kind of works Jackbox style, where you interact with the game without owning it. You don't have to own the game. You're going to interact completely with Twitch chat, and you're going to use commands in Twitch chat to join a team, to vote, to make decisions and things like that. Right now, there is plenty of leftover pizza. I did get up early and make some pancakes, though. I made some pancake batter last night before bed and heated it up because I really wanted to try it. Now, that being said, I'm running on very little sleep because I didn't get to sleep until after 2. By the time my wife got home from the concert and we like settled down, it was like after 2, and set my alarm early for this. But what I was gonna say is you don't need to own the game. But if you do own the game, it gives you a little bit of incentives. Let me just show you guys real quick. There we go. So if you own the game, you can load it and connect it to your Twitch account, the one that you're using right now. And when you go to customization, it allows you for each of the kingdoms to choose what you would like your character to look like. You know, you can choose the outfit, you can choose the hairstyle, you can choose your crest. You get a lot of choices for what your character can look like, which is fun. I think also if you have owned the game and connected it to your Twitch account, so it's like you're like a premium member, you're more likely to be picked, because we will have story events that happen in our game, and one of the characters from whatever faction you're assigned to will be brought up and be part of the story. Now, the people that are part of the story will be random, but it says you get to tip the odds in your favor if you are a game owner. You also get to choose which faction. We're going to choose 3 of the 5 factions, and then when you join, you get randomly assigned to one of the 3 factions. Unless you are a subscriber or an owner of the game, then you can choose which faction you actually join. So it's really up to you guys. If you'd like to buy the game, it's kind of had a interesting history. I don't want to call it abandoned, but it's been, it's been considered done. It's not actively in development anymore. Just checking. It's like $10 right now on Steam. And I don't know how much it is if you go buy it directly from the company. Now, there was a point to this. It's too early, Steve. What was the point that you were getting to when you were telling everyone about that? Huh. Well, whatever the point I was ultimately arriving at has completely flown past me in my delirious state. So we did do we've done a couple campaigns. Originally, I had run it to continue the campaign from last time, but it's been so long, and the people that I think if you come back, you're put on the same team. I'm just going to start a fresh campaign, and we're going to see it together. I'll be reading all of the story beats and stuff like that. But also, I'm going to need to get a glass of water for that because I'm going to be reading a lot. Also, wow, that just eluded me. I really need to wake up. No, I had a point. What was the point? Starting a new dynasty. You guys are going to vote on the factions. You guys are going to get to join the factions. You guys are going to try to overthrow me. Blah, 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 blah. I haven't yet. I can't turn off GrimmyBot because GrimmyBot is not something I have control over, but I will. I plan to time out GrimmyBot for 2 hours so that when the game starts, you can join without the bot actually harassing you. Oh, I think I was talking about how the game is sort of, the storied history of the game, right? So the game was considered finished, right? They were like, we're not going to be doing any major patches, et cetera, et cetera. Last year, around like July or August, the Twitch shut down some of the ways that you could communicate with the Twitch chat. So I don't know if you guys know this, but Twitch chat is just an IRC server. So if you've used IRC in the past, it's literally an IRC server in the background, and then Twitch is just sort of a portal to that IRC chat, and does things like special emotes and stuff like that on top of it. They changed how you communicate with the servers and took away non-HTTPS connections, which King of the Castle used, which meant for a large portion of last year, King of the Castle was completely unplayable. Like, you could play it, just not with the Twitch interactive option, right? You could do the play with your friends, Jackbox style, which is another option. Like, you get a code, you go to the website, you enter the code, you connect, you can have a smaller, more focused game, which is another way we should experience this game sometime. But for today, we're doing the crazy floodgates open of everyone joining. So you can even do that interactive version of it for like much of the year, and then when they fixed it, they broke save files and corrupted save files so that you couldn't actually save the game properly, or it would corrupt old saves or something like that. And it was only recently in the last few months fixed, so we are able to play it again essentially. Yeah, I'm not evil, I'm just sleepy. All right, I'm gonna go get a glass of water. Everyone, let your friends know we're gonna be starting soon, and we're gonna be joining teams, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. So I'll be back in roughly. I'm gonna run ads so we can avoid ads for like a while. So you're gonna get ads for 3 minutes, and then we'll get started when that's done. All right, be right back. Hear ye all. People, welcome. That's a little high energy. Welcome to Sunday morning cozy hour or two. I am Evil Steve, or shout outs to Reynaro, who said Medieval Steve. I hope your Sunday's going well, whether it's a nice early morning with coffee with me on the West Coast, whether you're, hitting the afternoon on the East Coast, or whether you are tuckered in and ready to go to sleep and start your workday in the EU. Today we are playing a favorite experience that I've been wanting to get back to, and I'm kind of sad we haven't in a while. It is called King of the Castle. So King of the Castle, it'll take a second for the game to show up. Thank you. King of the Castle, it's an interactive experience where you, our viewer, are going to take the role of the leader of a noble family. You're going to join one of 3 factions in the game, and you're going to work with your fellow faction to try to steer things in the direction that's good for your goals, while I try to herd you guys like cats and keep my kingdom from like falling into rebellion, and you guys try to like stick me with the pointy end of a spear and throw me out of the castle. So we can see this is everyone joining. It's Coronation Day. We're gonna start a new dynasty, and I will be medieval Steve. Did I even spell medieval right? There's no I guess I would be medieval Steve, right? Medieval Steve. And our dynasty name, of course, is the Grim. So Monarch Medieval Steve of the Grim Dynasty will be our king. That's going to represent me. And then it's going to be time for you guys to join. So if you're on Twitch, you'll see the overlay should populate. I don't think it's actually open yet. So we're going to do play on Twitch. Before you guys can join, yeah, it's worth a try. Before you can join, we have to choose which of these 5 factions we actually want in our game. So this is where I go to the trusty poll. Again, YouTubers, I do apologize. This is the thing that you can only really do if you're on Twitch chat, so you can watch along. But if you open Twitch chat, you're gonna be better. Let me hide myself for just a minute. Which factions to include? We got the Barons of the March, Chiefs of the North, Counts of the East, Grandees of the South, and Patricians of the Coast. I'm going to give you guys 3 minutes to get your votes in. And I have a good old, actually, I don't even need to hide myself because I have a good old fashioned poll counter right here. We'll talk real quick about what the factions are, right? So each faction kind of has like a different vibe and a different story to them. So the Barons are brash rural lords famous for their belligerence and fondness for hunting. Huzzah! You know, being Clock Tower fans, I'm always partial to Barons in a game. But they're good, like military stuff. We got the Chiefs of the North, who are honorable warriors renowned for their pagan religion and prowess in combat. So you can think of these guys as like Viking type people with like animal furs, and they pray to like the old gods and summon, you know, frost giants. The Counts of the East are ruthless aristocrats steeped in secrecy. Allegations of forbidden rituals are unproven. If there's a demon in our kingdom, it was probably summoned into the Counts of the East. You can see they got the spooky gothic vibe going. We got the Grandees of the South. They are impassioned duelists known for their strict adherence to honor, etiquette, and the ninth god. So it's sort of a reforming religion that's trying to like impose their religious control on our kingdom. And then we got the Patricians of the Coast, who are wealthy seafaring merchants noted for their cleverness, skill in negotiation, and ornate mass. So if I had to put them in Clock Tower character terms, we got the Baron, we got the Huntsman, we got the Imp, we got the Pope, and we got the Sailor. I think those are the 3. Those are probably the characters that are most associated with each of these 5 factions. So 3 of these will be included in our game. Our poll is right here. It looks like the Counts of the East are winning, followed closely by the Chiefs of the North. And then we got the Barons and the Patricians of the Coast tied. So don't let it be a tie, because if you want to leave it to me, I break ties. I think the Counts could possibly be Summoner. That's a good call. They want to summon in dark, deep like otherworldly forces. Bensei says, I did go to sleep. I just woke up at 3 a.m. Well, this weird light turned on outside. Is that the sun? Not at 3 a.m. I suppose it's not the sun. Oh, there we go. Patricians of the Coast just bumped up to 4. It is sad. Nobody likes the Barons. Are these the same 3 we had last time we played? I don't remember. Chiefs, Counts, Patricians. All right, we're locked in. Our top 3 factions are the Counts of the East, the Chiefs of the North, and the Patricians of the Coast. Okay, so I will go ahead and include those. So the Counts, the Patricians, and the Chiefs. Those are our 3 factions. You guys will now either choose a faction if you own the game or be randomly assigned to one of the factions if you don't. So you can type join in Twitch chat if you want to include your pronouns. You can do the join he, join she, or join they, I think are the three ones you can use. Should also be visible on the overlay. If you don't put anything, it will default to they. Let me hide myself again because I'm blocking our people who are joining the game. If you see the people that have this little marker next to their name, these are people who own the game. So that means you guys will A, show up more in stories, and B, be able to customize what your banner and your character looks like. And if you own the game, you can also choose which team you're on, which seems like the popular choice is the Counts. We got a couple of first-time chatters. Thanks for hanging out with us. Proud Leo and Random Brain. I saw you guys joining, or as first-time chatter in our game. I think it probably is a ruler, right, Zara? It's probably a ruler. Well, Cadkins, it automatically assigns you, but like if you own it, like Itri did right there, you can overrule it. So go buy it for $10, add it to your Steam account, connect your Twitch account, and then come back and change regions. But otherwise, it should be fun. Oh, we got a lot of people up with me early this morning to play. That's always fun. That makes sense. First time on Twitch. There's a couple of people I think that are like, can I play this through YouTube? And I was like, unfortunately, no. Like if you think about how it works, right? Like Twitch chat, there's just a single Twitch chat for all your streams. It's like I said, it's an IRC channel that exists for our user. So like a game can listen to that one channel and get all the commands coming through. YouTube, every time you go live, my camera keeps doing that. Every time you go live on YouTube, it creates a new distinct video with its own chat. So you'd have to somehow be able to tell your game which specific VOD you're pointing at when you're streaming in order for it to read the chat, and nobody bothers. It's just something that like YouTube needs to fix, I think. Oh, Cadkins is Blight Dragon. What up, Cadkins? What up, Blight? You should, yeah, I mean, I guess I can answer you. You won't hear me, but like, yes, you should be, you should stay. Your Twitch account should be connected to this game regardless of how long we play. I'm glad that you're actually interested in it. Deranged Snev, that's Derangzy Snev, that's a mouthful for me. I apologize for butchering it. We first did, because we normally play Blood in the Clock Tower on our channel, but we did this as part of our 48-hour stream, and we had done it one-off before or besides that, and it was always a lot of fun. But it's been over a year since we played, and I've been wanting to get back to it. Snev works. So yeah, I'm excited to be able to bring it back. Now, I've never had a successful run as ruler. I've just been murdered time and time again, so I don't have a lot of points. That's a good question, Heather. I think you probably need to actually... I think you probably need to do it in the client. I don't think you can do it in Twitch. You may be able to do it through their website too. Yeah, Renaro, we know. Okay, so looks like we got a nice even split of like at least 7, 7, 7, and we got an 8 right there from Newt, and Mixicotl wanted to join the counts. I don't have high hopes for my ability to rule, especially considering how I've been going. So I'm gonna go ahead and start the game. You can continue to join the game as we play. People that come in later, they can join one of the teams. We will go over the specifics of how this game works. Let me hide myself just so you guys can see it really quick. I'm kind of covering some of the numbers. Does it show up? Does it show up in the Twitch overlay too? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna shrink myself a little bit. There we go. Okay. So, we are in spring of 948. The 3 factions are the chiefs, the counts, and the patricians. Each of your regions on our map, like here's our map, right? So this is my castle. I control the center. The chiefs control the north, the counts control the east, and the patricians control the entire south, which is a very large region. Each of you have different specific numbers. So like trade, we have 3, 4, 7 rating. Farming, we have the 3, 7, 4, and then military is 7, 5, 3. Faith, no faith in the north. And I think, to be clear, this is just faith in the traditional system, or in the new god, maybe not in the old gods. So this is a new dynasty. We are doing a new dynasty, Evil Alive. We haven't played in over a year, so I didn't want to just continue one of our old games. All right, so as a king, there will be events that happen that I choose to do. So I guess I can choose whatever. Let's do my coronation first. Your Majesty, I scheduled your coronation to take place in a week's time. Shouldn't I be giving the orders? Now I'm kind of a jerk. Of course, Your Majesty, but to delay any longer would make the nobles restless. And when the nobles get restless, they take their daggers and look for the nearest back. I don't want my back stabbed. So, sorry, Fac. Yeah, that's a nice interactive one, right? You can watch from your phone. Very well then, what must I do? As is tradition, the council will decide what happens at your coronation. It's like, you know, that makes sense, right? Of course. Shall we call the nobles in? Okay, so this is where you guys get to come in, and so I'm going to come here so you guys can see. There we go. There's the vote options. So here we are. This is what our voting system looks like. So even though there's 4 options, I can't choose which option we do. It's up to you guys collaboratively to vote which one is for me. So I have 2 like moves I can make. I can veto one of these options, and I can I get 1 extra vote on one option, but considering there's like 40 of you out there, like 30 something of you interactive in this game, it's not going to do much. So because I am a vain fool, I'm going to veto throwing the king into the river. Because, you know, I have an image to uphold. But you guys get to vote on which of the other ones you want, and it'll adjust our treasury, trade, all of that. So you can vote exclamation point A, B, C, or D, and this is open to everyone, for how you think we should do my coronation. As you vote, you'll see your vote tallied up there on the screen. You can see the vote spams coming in. Invite foreign. So you guys are just trying to like bankrupt me is what you're talking about. Oh, read them? That's true. I should probably read them. Host a lavish parade with jugglers and fountains of wine, for A. For B, it's invite foreign dignitaries and show off our wealth. And then D is outdated traditions. There's no need for coronation at all. I think it's pretty clear you guys want to invite the foreign dignitaries. All right, 13 nobles voted for invite foreign dignitaries and show off our wealth. Our treasury has gone from 3,000 down to 1,200. Good job, everyone. Way to bankrupt our kingdom. Dignitaries arrive from all corners of Celeste Ith, and it is only appropriate you show off. A trained eagle drops a ruby-encrusted crown atop your head as you stand on a golden podium. Not a good start for our kingdom. The odd crowd includes such influential figures as the Dukes of Saul, the Princes of Tavalin, and even a pearl barrel from Atesh. Lucrative trade deals are struck at the evening's feast. The north, trade went up. The coast, trade went up. The east, trade went up. The north, so some of you specifically in those regions have had your wealth increase due to this. Only the Grand Pensionary of Kurth is not in attendance. The Republic, after all, is fundamentally opposed to the very concept of monarchy. All right, I think now we can do our path to victory. Now that I know you've bankrupted me and increased trade, now I can kind of choose my path. Oh, the Spy Master. So if we look, right, in Clock Tower terms, this is the spy. Or possibly the Raven Keeper, Falconer, if you go by the image of the art. When you die, how do you hope the kingdom will remember you? As a conqueror with military goal, as a peacekeeper, as the greatest king who ever lived, as the father of the nation, as the architect of a new golden age, or as a saint. You know, considering we just boosted everyone's trade, guess what? I'm gonna become the architect of a new golden age. A lofty goal indeed. I suggest over the next few years you focus on improving the kingdom's overall trade as much as possible. Once you have an heir, I will return to discuss how your ambition is progressing. Good luck, Your Majesty. So I have now chosen my goal as being a trade, which you can see there's a little crown marking it now. So my goal is to raise this. But we're about to learn a little more about you all. Anicio, good evening. Make sure you join one of the factions by hitting join, and then you can get in on the games. All right, let's meet you guys in your factions and see what you're all about. Now that you're the king, your first duty is to meet with the Council of Nobles. Claim nobles, at least. Your nobles hail from across the kingdom, the wintry north, the desolate east, and of course, the wealthy coast. All right, let's start with the chiefs. Chief Evil Alive, the 13th. Hello there, Evil Alive. Good luck in the days ahead, Your Majesty. You'll need it dealing with us lot. Well, hopefully it doesn't come to war. Is that it? I just one click and that's all? Okay. Let's go to the counts. Countess Moonlight Huntress. Hello there, Heather. In honor to finally make your acquaintance, Your Highness, may you escape the doom that befell your predecessor. That's ominous and threatening and still somewhat respectful, and I approve. And last but not least, or maybe a little bit least, Alien Astronaut. Shout outs to Alien Astronaut. A pleasure, Your August Majesty. I hope to see our kingdom prosper and grow wealthy under your reign. And I agree, because that our goals are definitely aligned in that. The council hall immediately fills with raised voices as the nobles argue with each other and demand my favor. You sigh and sit back. Is this what the council is like? No wonder Daddy told me to avoid the throne at all costs. Okay. So we have done everything in our kingdom for that year, that season. So we will end the season and move on to the next year. This is where the game kind of gets interesting. All right. So the counts. This part is only for those of you who are on the counts team. Okay. Varinka of the Krim 4702 dynasty. Hello, Krim. Infamous Eastern chess master. Leans delicately on a podium, whispering carefully. My fellow counts, in ancient times, the East was its own proud kingdom. We can bring it back to those days of glory, but not while the false king, medieval Steve, wears the crown. All right. You guys get to vote. Counts. What do you want your goal for this game to be? Do you want to intimidate, raising stability? Do you want an uprising by raising the treasury? Or do you want possession by lowering your own defiance? Vote A, B, C now if you are on the counts. I can go forward as soon as the timer ends, but it doesn't automatically force it, so we have a little bit of extra time. It's interesting that like a goal is just to make yourself some more. Oh, I see. Okay, yeah. So possession obviously is not going to bode well for me. I'm assuming you're going to try to possess me with a spirit, like summon me into your demon. Great, noble goals. Lowering your own defiance is an interesting take on that. Your defiance is 1, so you're going to lower it even a little bit more. I don't know. Sounds like you guys are pretty on the same page. So voting has closed. The scheme the counts are pursuing is possession. Shout outs to Scrayabomb and Snev who just followed. Also Adkins who resubbed earlier when I was doing the ads and I missed it. All right, the counts plan to summon a demon to possess the king. You are summoners after all. Aww. Putting him totally under their control. First, they must lull the king into a false sense of security. To advance their scheme, the council must lower their defiance to 4 or less in 2 seasons. You're at 1 currently, so thanks for going along with my schemes. And we can see it's now marked that they their schemes are marked here. All right, Rhoda of the alarmed turducken family, eccentric former pirate, scribbles with a well-used quill on a hardware desk, speaking calmly. My fellow patricians of the coast, my claim to the throne is far more legitimate than that of King Medieval Steve. Something must be done. Do you guys, A, go for a monopoly by raising your own trade? B, go for a conspiracy by lowering the treasury? Or do you go for C, corruption, by lowering my authority? Patricians of the coast, wealthy business people, schemers, let me know what you guys think you would like to try to accomplish in this game. There is merit in aligning with the king's goals. My goal, as we know, I've chosen it, is to increase trade across the kingdom. So if you pick Monopoly, which it seems like you are, we are all probably aligned for the short term. We'll see what comes later. All right, patricians, your voting has closed. You have chosen Monopoly. Your goal is going to be to raise your own trade, which is already at 8. The patricians plan to privatize this entire damn kingdom. First, they must build up their industry. Great. To advance the schemes, the patricians must raise their trade to 5 or more in 4 seasons. Really? 5 or more? You guys started at 8. How am I supposed to stop you from advancing your schemes? All right, Asgal of the Zarl 21 clan, sinister northern troublemaker, stands precariously on a longhouse crossbeam, spitting as they speak. Chiefs of the North, we all know that I, Asgal, should be on the throne, not this imposter, King Medieval Steve. How do we make that happen? Slam. So, what scheme are the chiefs going to pursue? We have sorcery by raising your own authority, subterfuge by lowering the stability, or a doppelganger, which is to lower your own defiance. It sounds like if you guys go doppelganger, it's like you're trying to put a doppelganger on the throne. The chiefs, the hounds are trying to summon a demon onto the throne, and we will somehow have like the two sides fighting over the throne with proxy demons, which is hilarious. The chiefs are definitely embracing magic. I mean, it looks pretty clear. It looks like you guys are going for doppelganger angle. Most of you guys want to do the doppelganger thing, so let's do it. 5 nobles voted for the doppelganger. So you got to lower your own defiance. The chiefs plan to swap the real king for a perfect doppelganger, or shall we say an evil twin. In the case of Evil Steve, probably a good twin, a mid-good twin, not a medieval twin. First, they must gain the trust of the spy master. That's gonna be hard when the spy sees the whole Grim, but sure. All right, you must keep your defiance at 4 or less in 4 seasons. Sounds like you're all on track to easily do all that. Okay, so we all know what your guys' goals are. So you all as a kingdom or as a region have your own small goals, and then I must wrangle all of that while trying to accomplish my own goals of raising trade across the board. And I currently have no heir, which is important. All right, by royal decree, we can tweak the laws governing how you vote. I can have 3 laws on the books, only 1 used per vote. So I can get stability if nobles vote for any one option. Stability is here. It's fine. The timer is set to 50 seconds and will vote automatically when the timer's over. That's mean if I really want it to go a certain way, but I don't think that helps me. If the nobles vote for the monarch's choice, they gain 500 personal wealth. So I can essentially bribe you. I don't remember. Does this cost money from the treasury? I think this costs money from my treasury, which I got to be careful about. So we're going to call for unity and we're going to lean into stability. No, it doesn't? I don't know if I trust you guys. You're saying it doesn't? It just generates money from nothing? Does it not let me change it? It doesn't look like it lets me change it. Okay, that's fine. I'll know for future. It's a fun way to bribe people. All right, so every season we'll get random events generated that involve your guys's and your schemes, and we have to respond to them. So the 3 we have is a fishy wedding, a call for apprentices, and the honor guard. I kind of remember the honor guard, right? You always have to choose one of your kingdoms to come and be my personal guard. Let's start with a call for apprentices. It's Lady Patrician Skrielbaum. Unfortunate tidings, your esteemed highness. A meddling wizard has set up shop in Chalopolis. I believe it is Brisk, the Lord of the Bells. Why is this a problem? They put out a call for new apprentices, which is a rare event. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for many. droves of unwashed, glory-seeking laborers from all over the coast are just lining up for the chance. Geez, you guys are more like vain than I am. Oh, here comes Alpha Ferret, Chief Alpha Ferret. Oh, not just peasants. I, Alpha Ferret, have also decided to apply. The competition will be fierce, but those villagers are no match. I will be the most powerful noble this council has ever seen. You could have put your clothes on if it wasn't for your servants' help. We can't let this go ahead. Not only is it heresy, it presents a clear and dangerous conflict of interest. How is this a conflict of interest? Wizards answer only to themselves. The power is unmatched, such that entire kingdoms cannot stand against them. Well, the wizard is a pretty powerful minion, I'll grant you that, if you use it right. Even an apprentice on the council would be disastrous. Chief Alpha Ferret could use magic to interfere with votes. Or you, for that matter. Apprentice wizard, that's true, an apprentice wizard and a wizard. All right, we're gonna assemble the court to decide the fate. So the votes are going to be A, allow Chief Alpha Ferret to become Brisk Apprentice, which will raise and lower defiance. I'm assuming I'm assuming it'll raise defiance in the patricians and lower it in the chiefs. I don't know. Require he forfeits his noble title in order to become an apprentice, which will give a ton of treasury to me somehow, and he'll lose money. Or forbid Alpha Ferret from traveling to Chalopolis at all, which probably does the defiance in the opposite. I don't think it really matters for me to do a huge vote on this. I don't think this is something that I need to get too involved in, but I'm just going to say that I think he should forfeit his noble title in order to become an apprentice. I need the treasury. So keep in mind the patricians don't want Alpha Ferret to travel there, and Alpha Ferret and the chiefs want Alpha Ferret to travel there. And so the counts, I suppose, as the neutral arbiters, probably decide the fate here. We got almost all of the blues lining up on one side and almost all of the greens lining up on the other side. And it looks like the counts are falling in line and telling Alpha Ferret, you can't become an apprentice. All right, 12 nobles, all green and purple, voted for this. My humblest thanks, your esteemed highness, for not bowing to this power-hungry fool. Now, if you excuse me, I must deal with this troublesome wizard. Defiance is down to 0 for the patricians. So a noble can't even enter into a years-long blood pact to become an all-powerful demigod without the council's approval? What happened to our freedoms? The defiance has gone up quite a bit in the north. You're still good. It has increased your defiance, which is dangerous, but you're still fine. Farming has dropped on the coast, but trade has gone up, which is great for all of us. All right, let's do this wedding, a fishy wedding in the coast. Your Majesty, the Archduke of Saul has invited you to his forthcoming wedding. Your attendance would help shore up relations between our two great nations. Oh, here we go. It's tree. By all that glitters, a great nation, the Isle of Saul is nothing more than a nest of pirates and cutthroats. Isn't that like half of the patricians anyways? Oh, and Gork says, I heard it isn't even a proper marriage anyway. The Archduke is marrying a fish. A fish? Did I hear that right? Oh, there's mer people? The groom is a finfolk, one of the denizens of the sea, perfectly sapient and actually amphibious. Oh, here comes the church. Here comes the Inquisitor. Inquisitor, a homebrew character from our Legacy series. Well, the church doesn't agree with a man marrying a fish. We mustn't legitimize this farce by allowing the kingdom to attend. All right. Of course, the king should attend the wedding. Stability goes up. Faith goes down. Defiance goes up. The king will not attend. Will be send his warm regards. With faith goes down. I don't really care about faith. Condemn the wedding and sever diplomatic ties with the Isle of Saw. So I'm going to say, I'm going to veto this because I don't want to affect our potential trade partners. So you guys can vote A, of course the king should attend the wedding, or B, the king will not attend, but will send his warm regards. My fear is if we sever diplomatic ties, it'll affect our trade, and trade goes down across the board. I don't want that. And I know the patricians don't want that. But I think the chiefs and the counts might. Thank you, Reynaro. Marry the damn fish. It's not even a fish. It's like a person, right? It's like I also forgot, if I go to this screen anytime we're doing a vote in the council chambers, this lets you guys see the vote options and I can see the votes flowing in as well. But every time I swap back and forth, it loses the feed for a second. All right. That was close. 10 to 11. Wow. What did you guys vote? Oh, I skipped it. Oh, we sent our warmest regards. Okay. Humph. Must these regards be warm? Can't they be icy cold? I'll compose a polite refusal with accompanying congratulations. But it's a shame. This was a chance for real diplomatic progress. Maybe that would have increased our trade. When the common folk of the coast hear about the Archduke's weddings, they're broadly supportive of the union. Public opinion turns against the overly strict church. Faith goes down in the coast. All right, here we go. Last story event is the honor guard. One evening, you're sitting up in bed reading some paperwork when a filth-encrusted peasant wanders into your bedchamber, bold as brass. Hello, your Madge. Oh, we found the British people. Hello, your Madge. Glad I finally found you. This bloody place is a maze. Mind if I take a seat? Guards. Who are you? Yes, I do mind. Yes, I do mind. I'll stand there, no problem. Listen, I got a bloody great idea for you. What if we tied a bunch of birds to a knight? I reckon you could field some aerial troops and totally dominate the battlefield. I agree, honestly. We should explore these options. Before the peasant can explain further, your marshal bursts into the bedchamber, sword drawn. Your Majesty, I'm sorry I didn't come sooner. I have no idea where the palace watch are. Do you want me to kill this intruder? Should I kill him? Kick him out? No! I want to hold a vote on this proposal. Whatever you say, Your Majesty. She goes and gathers up your council who trickle into the hall in their pajamas, rubbing sleep from their eyes. They don't look particularly pleased with it. Hey, we could have waited. We'd have to do it right then and there. All right. Here's your chance to send one of the trials to one of your fellow countries. So either yes, the pilot program will be in the East. Oh my God, this drops my authority? All right, well, I'm just going to call for unity and say this is incredibly stupid. I don't have to choose an option. Okay. Yes, and the pilot program will be in the East. Yes, and the pilot program will be in the North. Yes, and it'll be on the coast. Or no, this is incredibly stupid. All right, where are we sending? Where are we sending the birds tonight for the purpose of early combat? Maybe this was stupid of me to lean into. I think it's funny though. It's gonna make my authority drop. Defiance goes up. Which means actually I see Defiance going up and I see blue voting for it when they want my Defiance to be low. So honestly, oh no, it probably puts the Defiance up in the region you vote for. So the East. Oh, I see. If you guys vote for it to be in the North, you can up the Blues Defiance and screw with their goals. So as a very neutral king who isn't really trying to stop anyone from getting more power, the best thing you can do is put the pilot in the North to screw with the North's goals. Once you vote, can you not change it? All right, I've closed the votes. So the pilot program will be in the North. Under the peasants' close supervision, a flock of ravens, of course, Ravenswood Bluff, are tied to a northern warrior. Instead of flying, the night is lost in a flurry of mad pecking and pooping. The peasant informs you merely used the wrong type of bird. Further experiments are conducted with owls, eagles, geese, woodpeckers, ostriches, and little grebes before hundreds of northern troops quit in disgust. So, in the North, your military prowess is dropped by 2, which seems extreme for tying some birds to some soldiers. How shitty is your military that I guess a couple hundred quit, sure. Your Defiance is now insolent. Your Defiance has gone up. It has to be 4 or less, so you guys are still fine, but if we can increase your Defiance a little more, we can screw with you guys. Needless to say, the whole thing is an embarrassing failure, and my authority has dropped to dubious. All right, back to the game. Your Majesty, if that peasant had been a maniac with a crossbow, I dread to think what could have happened. Quite shitty after the birds moved everywhere. That's a good one coming from Turducken. If one thing's clear from this mess, it's that you need an honor guard who can actually keep you safe, not like the pathetic Wash. Think carefully, Your Majesty. These guards' loyalties will be divided between you and their regions. Of course, you could just hire foreign mercenaries. Okay, so tell me about the Northern Warriors. Bearded oafs with axes and no manners. They'll get drunk and cause trouble in the palace. And their military sucks now. No discipline at all, and I can't guarantee they won't run off on some random quest. But they're honorable, and in a fight, unbeatable. Tell me about the Eastern Knights. The Order of the Drowned Rose are highly respectable. They'll understand Paddock's etiquette, but it's been years since they fought an actual battle. They mostly write poems these days. All right, what about the Coastal Gladiators? A gang of lowborn crooks who turn themselves into celebrities through their skill at chopping other people to bits. They're vain and selfish. Their skill in battle is undeniable, but can you trust them? I feel like I have made my decision, purely political. I will give my honor guard to the Coastal Gladiators to raise the defiance of the other realms. The North remembers and is now not following their goals. Defiance is up in the East. The coast can't go any lower with your Defiance. Maybe that's the reason I should have done it. Thank you, Amanda. The gladiators arrive a few weeks later. The men are bare-chested and the women underdressed, eager to show off their bodies as much as their weaponry. I mean, that sounds like a bonus to me. What are we talking about? They gather behind your throne and begin oiling themselves up. Okay, so they're just for show. Nah, they know how to fight. They came out of the fighting pits, right? We are very loyal, my liege. All right, we're gonna end the season. Oh, okay. This is right. So this is the end of the turn. This is where you guys can vote with your personal money. So you all have a personal amount of money. You can see the richest nobles are here. If on the Twitch plugin, it should tell you how much money you have. You get to use your personal wealth to bid on the buildings. The 2 highest funded buildings will be built. So you can lower trade, lower authority. raise farming in purple, lower the faith in purple, raise trade in green, or lower the military in green. So think about for a second about what your goals are from your your faction, and vote with your wealth accordingly. Hello there, Stranger Wasp. Welcome to the game. As your king, I will say, patricians would like their trade to be high. I personally would like the trade to be high. So anyone who wants to be allied with the king, and if you are potentially in the patricians, you should vote for E. Make sure E is one of the two that gets funded. Please don't vote for B, because we don't want trade going down. I mean, unless you really don't want the king to win with his goals, which you probably don't. The current leading is A, authority down, and B, trade down in blue. Man. Okay, wait, no, E is up. People have put money in on E. All right, time's up. What was the final bidding? We are funding the stadium and the Thieves Guild? Really? Evil Alive did 1,300 for the stadium to be built in the patricians, lowering their military. 500 from Alpha Ferret to the Thieves Guild to lower trade in the north. What's with the north? They're trying to like tank my goals, which is smart. All right, well, that's your money to spend how you guys so choose. So, but in a way, Snev, right? By lowering blue's trade, making the king's goals kind of harder, right? My goal is, actually, I don't know. It doesn't tell me specifically. Yep, we'll call it the Evil Alive Stadium, right? All right. Shout outs to Coldfire Surge with the 10 stream streak. Nice. Okay. What are our events for this season? We have Noble Kidnapped, Finding a Spouse, and An Island Rises. Let's go to the east. Your Majesty, the loyal and noble Countess Courtney McClanahan has been taken hostage. That's what the C stands for in McClanahan. Courtney has been taken hostage, everyone. Oh, it's Bensei. Oh, no. Now, we are all going to rally to save Courtney, right? Kidnapped? No, why would the kidnaps want with her? It's some criminal organization. These horrid miscreants demand gold and safe passage to Ashmead in exchange for Courtney's return. All right. We don't have the money to pay for the ransom. How much money are they asking for? We can either send the East troops after the kidnappers or ignore the letter. I think we want to send the East troops after the kidnappers. East is the Counts, who has 5 military. I didn't really think about it, but like blue, like the Chiefs and the Patricians are kind of incentivized to tank this, right? Whereas we got 12 to 11. You're gonna do this to Courtney? This is Courtney we're talking about. Sorry, Courtney. The nobles have spoken. Our hands are tied. Oh, okay. Without the assistance of the treasury, the counts cannot raise the required funds in time. Courtney soon meets a grisly end. It is kind of a conflict of interest, right? The stability has gone up in our kingdom, and the East's defiance has gone. Oh, now I didn't even think about that, right? But you guys have now made the East's defiance shoot up, which is probably good for the Chiefs and the Patricians. Okay, that makes sense. Countess Courtney McClanahan has died. Oh no! But Courtney II has joined the council, so we're all good. We're all good. May she rest in peace, right, Katkins? That's true. We don't know that it wasn't staged. And the Courtney II looks suspiciously like Courtney I, if you ask me. All right, an island rises. It's Itri! Your Serene Highness! Your August Majesty! Something most strange has occurred in the Ghost Sea. A new island has risen, halfway between our shores and the Isle of Saul. The Finfolk raised it from their depths using their weird ocean magic. Ugh. It's true, Your Majesty. The Finfolk raised the island to celebrate their marriage of the prince to the Archduke of Saul. They will gift it to him on the day of the ceremony. I guess the wedding hasn't happened yet. This is the wedding that you refused to send me to. This is terrible news. That island is of immense strategic importance. We can't let it fall into Salish hands. So a new island that didn't exist before is now so important we need to take it over? I don't know. So pay the wizard to sink the island back into the sea. Again, we are so broke due to my coronation, we can't have this as an option. So we can either send the king to conduct secret negotiations or send the king to seduce the Finfolk prince and sabotage the wedding. I think I know what you guys are going to vote just based on the title, regardless of what it means for our kingdom. I can go negotiate with the Finfolk, or I can go seduce the Finfolk prince. Listen now, listen. Do you think this is seducing anyone out of a wedding? I know that the princess is like a fish. Oh no, I'm going to seduce the oh my god. So I'm going to go seduce the merfolk, the Finfolk people. 15-4. Look, if I marry this prince, that just means you guys don't have a chance to marry me on the throne. Okay, I gotta see what this does. 15 of you voted to have me seduce the Finfolk. Capital idea. You want me to sleep with the fishes? No. I have always found the Finfolk appealing. A silence falls over the council. The nobles glance at each other, coughing and adjusting their collars. Oh, you know what I'm talking. You don't know one of you ever just thought about like a Finfolk? You never sat up and thought of whether you'd have a fish on top and a human on bottom or vice versa? You haven't spent hours debating the merits of such a decision? I find that hard to believe. Not one of you saw The Little Mermaid growing up? I don't know. Well, you are unattached, and you'd make a far better match for this Finfolk prince than an archduke of some rainy little island. What's the harm? Very well, you've strong-armed me. I will seduce the sexy fishman. We all admire your sacrifice, Your Esteemed Highness. Thank you, Itri. Yes, sacrifice. That's what we're talking about. Preparations begin for your clandestine visit to one of the Finfolk's undersea villages. Your chancellor has heard of magic reeds that allow the bearer to breathe underwater, but such a thing will take weeks to track down. Okay, so this is a long-term plot. We're scheming. It gives you time to prepare for your underwater visit and buy some waterproof roses. I might have found a snooter. Speaking of sexy fish people, finding a spouse. In the twisty passages of your castle, you can avoid your advisors, the noble, and even the spy master. But there's one person you can't avoid. Is it my mother? Yeah, it's my mother. Of course it's my mother. Why haven't you found a spouse yet? It's been almost a year. But mother, I've got a fish prince to seduce. I've been busy. You'd better find the time. Don't worry. I'll take the liberty of finding eligible candidates. What is your preference? Men, women, or do you not mind? I like how they've given like I'm not interested in love option. as a fourth option. Which, since when does marrying as a king actually matter? I'm already canonically, I'm into fish dudes, so we'll just go with any. Also, my mom doesn't know. Excellent. I'll send out messengers to the most influential noble families in the kingdom. Let's see what they have to offer. Whoever shows up in fish folk cosplay will get my hand in marriage. All right, I think that's the end of the season. Hidden in a labyrinth beneath an eastern castle, a pair of counts meet to speak of their schemes against the king. Here's Count Proud Leo. The last time I petitioned King Medieval Steve, he gave me this dreadfully suspicious look. It's Newt Newt. All the other counts are talking about it. The crown really has it in for us right now. You guys are all vampires. Dracos bones. We must claw our way back into his good graces. The count aims to lower the defiance to 4 or less. You're at 5, so you're not quite there. All right. End of turn. You can set different taxes for different regions or bribe regions to keep them sweet. Each option has different defiance, treasury, and personal wealth changes at any kind of left. So if I raise your taxes, I increase your defiance, increase my treasury, and lower your wealth. Oh, the chiefs strike a deal with the chain of lumber mills, making 500 wealth. The other nobles gain 200 wealth. So chiefs are rich. Well, since the chiefs are so rich, I think we're going to increase the tax on them. Do I need to take wealth from the counts? Honestly, this is, for me, this is best because it raises your defiance, which I want to keep in check. But I don't want you rebelling. I'm just going to tax the chiefs who got super rich extra, and everyone else will get normal. Your defiance is now mutinous. My bad. I gotta find the perfect balance. Okay. We can visit the Finfolk. We can have wizard troubles. They're back. And eligible options. Let's start with the wizard. What up, Jay? All right, Lady Patrician Skriobam. More troubles in Chalopolis, your august majesty. Ever since that Lord of Bells arrived there to train their apprentices, everyone's been hearing strange noises in their heads. No one can get a proper night's sleep. I'll assemble the council. We can't do anything about wizards, leave them alone. I only have 40% authority, so that's not great. Or why would they do such a thing? Wizards are so powerful that they're surrounded by cursed ambient magic. If they stay in one place too long, it seeps into soil and citizen alike. And they all know this by squatting in Chalopolis. Brist is willingly endangering the coast. I don't think I have the authority here, so I guess we'll assemble the council. Zarl, the sound is the wish. It's the hint. All right, what should be done about the wizard refusing to leave Chalopolis? Should we assemble a militia to push them out? It says 5. I guess you need 5 military to do it, and you only have 2. Okay, I see. Compensate the patricians for their losses and abandon Chalopolis, which cost me 800 treasury and lowers trade. Gift Chalopolis to Briss permanently, which gives us money and wealth and lowers trade and lowers or increases defiance. Or do we let Briss continue as they wish? Well, I'm going to veto the one that bankrupts me. And you guys can figure out the rest. I will say the chiefs and the counts probably would like to lower the trade of the patricians, but I personally would like the patricians to stay up on their trade. That being said, your trade only has to stay at 5, so you got some wiggle room. But I need to get trade up across the kingdom. I haven't been given any options to let me do it. This is close. It's 1 vote in favor. Closing it. Voting is closed. It was very close. Very close. But 10 nobles voted for C. Alpha Farah got the vote in just after I closed it. Gift Chalopolis to Brist permanently. You can't be serious. What about all the people living there? Holy shit, the defiance went to 4? As it turns out, most of them move away. The ones that stay end up as test subject for Brist and their presences. Failed experiment becomes the leading cause of death in the area. On the other hand, Brist is most thankful, sending gold as thanks. It doesn't take long before Screerbomb is singing a different tune. So the treasury's up a lot. Some people in the patricians have gotten a boost of money. Well, I suppose it's only a few hundred citizens. And I hear Brist is making remarkable progress. And the defiance goes down. You got how quick you were to sell out your own citizens. All right. Sexy fishfolk time. Let's do it. The Finfolk said a stagecoach made from a giant clam pulled by seahorses. Wow, it's just like my fantasies. You equip your magic breathing reed and hop inside. The clam carriage plunges back beneath the waves, and you are whisked down into the murky depths. A few hours later, you arrive at an undersea citadel of kelp-woven huts. Their prince meets you at a grand table formed of knotted coral. Tiny finfolk spawnlings swim around your legs as you sit. Look at that sexy fishfolk, dude. We actually get to see the fishfolk art. All right. Greetings, your majesty. Oh, blub, 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 blub. Greetings, your majesty. Blub, 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 blub. We are honored to have such a blub, blub, blub. Prestigious visitor. Blub, 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 blub. Let's get down to business. Of course. Blub, blub, blub. We must be swift. I know those magic reeds only provide a certain amount of air and a certain amount of room in that mouth. Jesus Christ, chat. The Chancellor didn't mention anything like that. You try not to let your panic show. Oh, I wasn't told they only had a certain amount of air? So you're here to discuss my betrothal to Archduke Shomo and the island I'm giving him as dowry. So might I ask, why do you give him a dowry? The new island could cause a war between your future husband and I. First of all, I must offer my congratulations. More like, fine folk, am I right? Awooga! Or, whoops, I just dropped a big bag of pearls. Could you pick them up for me? I actually could bribe them now. I honestly have the treasury to probably bribe them. But I'm gonna hit on them. They told me to seduce them. More like, fine folk, am I right? Your clumsy blah 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 attempt at seduction is blah 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 beneath the dignity of your office, blah blah blah. I'm to be married soon. Remember, I just got shot down by the fishfolk. I have no more time for your foolish games. Goodbye. Blah 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 blah. This is the last time I listened to my chancellor. They told me to seduce him. And then it failed. I didn't even get like a chance roll or anything. It was just straight up no. Oh, you're right, Anicio. The fishes don't like puns, and I didn't know that. Our research should have told that. I'm blaming the spy master. Your clan coach spirits you back to the surface. As you wade down on the beach, you gasp for breath. Air native test is so good. How did it go, Your Majesty? Did you successfully seduce the fishmen? We just talked nothing spicy. No matter what I choose, all these options are the same. All right. Never gonna admit it. The opportunity never came up. Well, that's a shame, I suppose. The Chancellor listens intently as you describe your conversation with the Finfolk Prince. Most unfortunate, Your Majesty. The wedding will go ahead after all. At least you tried. I just told him I didn't try. A month later, the marriage between Archduke Shomo and the Finfolk Prince goes ahead. You don't attend, of course. The new island proves to be immensely beneficial for Salish trade. They expand their operations, outcompeting your own merchants at every turn. So we've dropped trade in the coast, which I guess is good in a way for everyone, but not for me and my personal goals. And the patrician's wealth has decreased. Rock and Roller's gifting 5 subs. Shout outs to Rock and Roller. Gifting subs on the back of my failed seduction. The coast defiance is up. The coast military is pathetic, and our kingdom stability has dropped. That was a disaster. I should have just bribed him, right? Well, if I can't marry a Finfolk prince, I guess I'll look to one of you. All right, I have found 3 potential matches for you. 1 eligible young candidate from each of the kingdom's 3 regions. Choose wisely. You will be securing a powerful alliance. And a partner for life to have and hold. Don't forget. Whatever, I suppose so. The alliance comes first. Your mother leads you to a great hall where she's arranged 3 portraits on easels. For now, each is covered by cloth. This was months later, Heather. All right. Wait, I don't even get to meet them? There's no time for sentiment. You're just in a match that befits your station and suits your political needs. My mom's a scheming witch, man. She whisks away the cloth from the first portrait. This is Lasgal, firstborn son of the Northern Snev clan. Oh, he's not him talking, it's my mother talking. Apparently the other Northerners had nicknamed him Windspeaker. Can't imagine why. Well, I imagine it has to do with the wind he expels from his backside. Lasgal. Yeah, it's your son. I've heard he spends most of his time playing cards or making wagers with friends and hangers-on. People say he nurses a grudge goes. I can see the appeal, I suppose. All right, this is Desdomina, the eldest daughter of the Eastern Jaimanji dynasty. All right, Jay's getting in on the action. Apparently they had a hell of a time getting her to smile for this portrait. At least it's not like a mirror where it wouldn't show up. She bought a controlling interest in a silver mine in the East and made a killing. Half the East are in love with her, apparently. And the other half hate her. Hey, I'm all in for the mining interest because trade, right? She's an intriguing candidate. And then finally, from the coast, we have Octavia, the wealthy heiress to Lord Patrician Anisio's estate. She spends most of her time in the solitude of her villa. So I know little about her. None of you showed up in fishfolk costumes, so I don't know what to say. I like the sound of her. What do you think? By picking a candidate, you'll anger the other regions, but you'll gain a lifelong alliance. If I take a match from the counts, if I'm doing this purely political, if I take here, then I will advance the count scheme. If I do an alliance in the north, it's the most stabilizing choice. Do I go with Octavia? Do I go with the purely political choice of the Snev Lascaux? If I do, or do I do Desdomina, the eldest daughter of the Eastern Jaimanji dynasty? The Defiance goes down in one region and up in the other, right? We're marrying the North. No, wait, that's not what I meant. I didn't mean to lower the Chiefs. Uh-oh. I meant to pick the patricians. I wanted this to go down and that to go up. Oh, oops. All right. Well, it's been chosen. Yeah, enjoy my gas. All right. I've now angered the other kingdoms. So wait, your goal in the North is you're going to put Mary into the throne and then replace the person on the throne with a doppelganger, thus controlling both halves of the marriage. What could go wrong? Get farted out of my liege. Sorry. I actually honestly meant to pick patricians as a way to balance out the Defiance. I screwed it up. It's fine. It's fine. By royal decree, we can tweak the laws. Okay, so we can... The monarch can mark, if chosen, they gain +1 authority, which is good. After voting, nobles can change their mind and vote for addition option. How nobles choose to vote is hidden from your view, so you can't all see how everyone else is voting. I'm going to adopt the Iron Choice, and I'm going to get the monarch's vote off the table. All right, rebellion report. Defiance is too high, and one or more regions is considering rebellion. Rebelling will stop the region from advancing their scheme, and they can't be taxed or take part in normal votes. So, the counts of the East and the patricians of the coast can theoretically start a rebellion. Oh, they're on the verge of rebellion. Okay. So counts can vote to rebel by typing rebel. Patricians can vote to rebel by typing rebel. It takes you out of your advancing your schemes, and then you basically becomes a military fight. Got a hype train? I missed a hype train? Shout out to Rock and Rolla for the hype train. Okay. Oh, I see. Now we're on the next season. Okay, so what do we got? The Royal Wedding, A Tasty Innovation, and The Deceased. Is this the Courtney storyline? A Tasty Innovation. Do we learn to put the right birds on soldiers? All right, let's go to The Deceased. The elderly Countess Yolanda, a cousin many time removed of Count Rock and Rolla, who just donated a bunch of subs, right? Died in her sleep last week. She was nearly 90, would you believe? And a better end than most of us get. Foreshadowing. Indeed, your majesty, she stayed at home in the east most of the time, enjoying herself. But she could have spent more time on her accounts. She died without a will, and the nobles are scrabbling for her estate. There comes Rock and Rolla. Countess Yolanda was my relative, and she was 900, not 90. I wrote to her at least once a year. Of course the estate should be mine. Oh, it's Lars. Ah, my late grandfather used to play backgammon with her. He swore she intended to leave it to our family. By the blood of the dead, that's a pitiful claim. All right, I leave it to you guys. We can give the estate to Rock and Rolla. We can give the estate to Lars. We can redistribute the estate amongst the Eastern peasants. Or we can claim the estate for the treasury. Patricians. Nah, I guess you guys don't have a dog in this fight, do you? I'm just going to do a call for unity and hope that you guys all vote for the same thing. You guys are definitely not. Oh, okay. Okay. I guess we're giving it to Rock and Rolla. I see. Because giving it to Rock and Roller lowers your defiance, which is what purple wants. That being said, I don't have 50% of the vote currently. So I'll drag this out just a little bit. And maybe more people vote A? Can I convince you to vote A? Guess not. 10 nobles voted to give the estate to Count Rock and Rolla. Honestly, it makes sense, right? It does a lot of things. Chief Leorjet shakes his head, muttering with his friends about favoritism in this council. I just married a Northman. You can just chill on the drama. But Count Rock and Rolla and the other counts are delighted. They even send you and the treasurer a gift basket as a token. Rock and Rolla's wealth has gone all the way up to 2,900, almost as much as the entire kingdom. The treasury's gone up to 3,250, and the defiance has dropped in that kingdom. I trust the situation is resolved. Somehow I don't think it is. Let's do a tasty innovation. Let's see what kind of burrs we've tied to soldiers now. Countess Mixicottle. I don't mean to exaggerate, your grace, but I believe I have pioneered the most incredible invention in the history of mankind. More innovative than Raven soldiers. I was hosting a small party, playing Blood on the Clock Tower with some old friends. I called for a servant to bring me something to eat that was both tasty and convenient. As my hands were occupied, what my servant brought me that evening will change the world forever, your highness. Was it like blood? Was it like a helmet with like a straw full of blood? All right. Show me. Behold. Thrifty Tokens is rating with 13 viewers. Welcome to the kingdom, raiders. Hopefully you're interested in playing some King of the Castle. We are deep in the run. It's not too late to join in. Just hit join and your pronouns, and you'll join one of our kingdoms. She holds in the air a plate. Atop the plate are 2 slices of bread with a piece of meat wedged between them. Pause for a second. Your hands were so full that you needed something to eat, and you were brought a sandwich, which still uses a hand, might I add. It allows the hungry noble to consume not 1, not 3, but 2 slices of bread plus meat all at once, saving valuable time. Meanwhile, the bread serves as an impregnable barrier, preventing one's hands from being besmirched by meaty juices. I'm not going to ask what kind of meat you guys are eating in the East, because I think we all know. This will increase trade for sure, right? This is ingenious. Naturally, since this is my invention, I propose we name it after me. In a few year time, I expect everyone will be enjoying a nice Mixicottle for lunch. But naturally, this innovation cannot be made available for free. Every time a Mixicottle is consumed, I expect a small royalty payment. All right. Do we give Mixicottle the royalties that she deserves? Are Mixicottles too delicious to be controlled? Or shall I receive a one-time reward from the treasury of 750 wealth. Or the servant should be rewarded instead. What was his name again? I think I'm going to veto this and force trade to go up. This should impact Eastern trade, I would imagine. Oh, crap. The first one trade goes down. No, I wanted trade to go. I thought they all went trade up. No. Oh, I'm a terrible king. I'm a terrible king. This is like you're playing into Blue's hands, right? Because Blue's defiance is going to drop low enough to advance their schemes. So, but it also helps lower the defiance. Oh no, it probably lowers the defiance. Actually, I don't know. It's clear you guys have made your choice. 14 nobles voted to give Mexicali the royalty she deserves. Thank you, Your Majesty. It is the least I deserve now to work on my next invention. Edible Blood in the Clock Tower tokens. Defiance is dropped in the east. From that point forward, everyone is forced to pay a small fee to Mexicali whenever they eat anything between 2 slices of bread. Mexicali's wealth is jumped to 2,600. Other counts are granted an exception from paying this toll, but the chiefs and the patricians are forced to keep up. So some of the chiefs and some of the patricians have their wealth decreased. Trade is dropped in the east, which is not great for my goals as a monarch. Inicio and Proud Leo have both voted to rebel. You are leading the rebellion. You guys are insatiable. All right, let's go to my wedding. Just make everyone else more upset. I care about trade, Amanda. I'm sorry. Sorry. I should have vetoed that option. Your wedding to Lascal is naturally the talk of the kingdom. Nobles and peasants alike travel from across the Rome to attend. For a week and a day, the capital is one giant party. It feels like you're the only one not taking part. Instead, you're getting ready for the ceremony. Soon enough, you're standing in St. Bertrand's Cathedral with Lascal at your side. Do you take this man as your lawfully wedded husband? Oh, I can change my mind? Okay, if I change my mind, defiance goes up, probably in the chiefs only, right? But if I take the marriage, it drops the chiefs and advances the schemes. I don't feel love to this man, but my mother said it's not about love, it's about allies. I do. I pronounce you king and husband. After the wedding, of course, there's a feast. And after the feast, a dance. At the feast, your new husband, Lascal, delivers a long, rambling speech that puts everyone to sleep. Stability's up, authority's up. Defiance went down across the board. I'm kind of surprised Defiance went down. I guess it's just a general stabilizing of the world, and now everyone's schemes advance. Look, I just let everyone's schemes advance. You should be happy. You should be happy. By the time you find yourself alone with Lascal, it's past midnight and you've never felt most tired. What a wonderful occasion that was. Not a patch on a proper northern wedding, of course. Is it really a wedding if there isn't at least one axe fight at the altar? I hope you're not feeling homesick. You better get used to the capital. Let's focus on the positives, shall we? Oh, don't worry. I always make the best of things. It can be tough being as gracious as I am. Tell me something you're passionate about, Lascal. I like to have a flutter at the card table. I have a foolproof method for winning big. I haven't perfected it yet, but when I do, I'm sure to make back the money I've lost. Oh, great. We're going to lose money. Oh, God. I've married an utter twit. Wait, I said that in my head, not out loud. Well, I have never been more offended in all my life. Lascal pulls away from you and retreats to the spare bedchamber, slamming the door. You're left feeling a little depressed and dreading what married life will be. I mean, look, my heart longs for the fish people. And also, I thought I said that in my head. I didn't realize I said it out loud. The game was not clear about that. Uneasy whispers rise in the east of secret gatherings and treachery. On the battlements of a remote castle, two counts meet. It's proud Leo. Oh, the Chancellor sent me a fruit basket last week to thank us for our efforts in helping the crown. 1, 2 fruits. It's the Count from Sesame Street. It's working. Our reputation is secure. Our problem now is the Archbishop. His beady little eyes will be focused on us if we're not careful. You must evade him at all costs. For the next stage of their scheme, the counts must lower their faith to 4 or less in 4 seasons. In a dingy seaside tavern, two patricians of the coast meet to plot their latest scheme. The coastal economy is strong, and some of you got wealth. What do we do with all this coin, says Random Brain. Amanda says, time to start buying things, my friend. Land, roads, bridges. We'll buy up the whole kingdom, piece by piece. But first, the king must be in desperate need of our gold. To advance their schemes, the patricians must lower the treasury to 1,500 or less in 2 seasons. That seems rough. Up in the north, Chief Alan Michael is hosting a grand feast at his clan hall. Oh, you said you had a surprise for me. It's Reynaro. Aye, and here it is. Behold. Your greatness? What are you doing here at such an hour? I'm sorry. I hope you didn't overhear any. You idiot. Quit bobbing, you scaredy cat. This isn't the king. It's a peasant who's the king's spitting image. The good twin, we would say. Gods be good. And just in time, the spy master trusts us, and we can move to the next phase. Kidnapping the king and putting the fool in his place. How do we manage that? We need the kingdom in utter chaos. Bad enough that the king's abduction can just slip past unnoticed. For the next stage of their scheme, the chiefs must lower stability to 4 or less in 2 seasons. All right, no air. Everyone's on their second step of their schemes, and these two are hard. Counts are in a good position to advance their schemes at this point. So, what do we got? Irksome legacy, a contentious sale, and low on lumber. Let's do low on lumber. Countess Newt says, Your Majesty, will you tell these superstitious chiefs to get over themselves and let us harvest their trees? We need the woods for our craftspeople. Stranger Wasp, I've told you 1,000 times, Countess. The forest is thoroughly haunted. You'll damn us all if you go logging there. You sold us a logging contract, and said contract has no exclusions for haunting. East Countess wealth has decreased. The North wealth has increased. Your Grace, the chiefs can't be allowed to wiggle out of their commitments. All right. The Counts have a contract and may go logging, 40%. Let them harvest lumber but share the proceeds, 40%. Turn the forest into a joint eastern northern hunting reserve. Defiance up, authority down. Or fence the area off to make sure no one goes near it. I'll just let you guys choose. I don't really know. It sounds like we're just kind of like going for like a luck thing, right? Turn the forest into a joint northern hunting reserve. It feels a little shady, right? Like they sold the contract and then didn't honor it. The contracts have a count. They should be able to go logging, I would think. That's what the king thinks. All right. We're voting to honor the contract. With the council's express permission, hundreds of eastern lumberjacks rush into the haunted forest and start hacking it down. But they're woefully unprepared for what they find. The trade challenge has failed. The moment the workers cut into the ancient trees, they come alive, picking up laborers and devouring them. Trade is down in the east, and stability is stable. Stability drops. Oh no! Oh no! That's a blow to me and a boon for the chiefs. Panic spreads. The counts withdraw from the area immediately, but the forest does not return to dormancy. Instead, trees start marching across the north, ransacking villages along the way. Farming is now meager. Defiance is now furious. Okay, I didn't trust in your haunted forest. Technically, it wasn't haunted. It was sentient. Stranger Wasp, I warned you! Now there's an angry army of trees on our doorstep. The greed of the counts knows no bounds. That did not go well at all for anyone. Let's go to the east. Here's the High Inquisitor. Your Majesty, about the treasures of the late Countess Iolanda. I heard there was a necklace of rubies amongst them. Where's the necklace now? It is of the utmost importance. I assume Count Rock'n'Rolla has it? And he will have no idea of the danger. By the 9th, a frail monk in the 7th century, monk, another clock tower reference, in the 7th century wrote a ruby necklace that drove those around it to sin. Somehow I don't think Rock'n'Rolla needs the necklace to be driven to sin, but hey. I believe the late Countess Iolanda had it in her collection. After all this time, it may have surfaced. She didn't sound very sinful. The proof seemed flimsy. Are you sure you just don't want this necklace for yourself? The proof seems flimsy. The High Inquisitor draws us up to a full height and fixes you with a steel glare. You doubt the word of a 7th century monk who is known for his wisdom? The necklace should be destroyed. It could be tested, but the holy regions will be expensive. All right. Rock'n'Rolla says there's no reason to seize this necklace. Surely the High Inquisitor is mistaken. So I can hand it over to the Inquisition with 30% faith. That seems bad. Ignore the High Inquisitor's concerns, 40% stability. Or we can lower the treasury and raise the faith. It's probably going to raise the faith in the counts or across the board. I'm calling for unity this one, and I'm calling for people. We're going to have the necklace tested so we can raise the faith of those counts to stop their schemes. We can lower the treasury, which kind of is good for the patricians, but we can raise the faith of the count. So if I can unite blue and green under this, I like how the only actually Rock'n'Rolla is the only one voting to hand it over to the Inquisition. What's up with that? It's your necklace. What are you doing? Closing the votes. 12 nobles voted to have the necklace tested for unholy influences. The stability goes up. The treasury goes down. She returns a few days later with an implacable expression. The necklace has been cleansed. I believe the monk must have been referring to some other ruby. Once the necklace is put back in the rightful place, everyone is most relieved. Most presidents and nobles alike spend more time attending church services. Just kidding. Faith goes up across the board. Perfect. All right, back to the north. A contentious cell. It's Chief Ascendial. Your Majesty, this is an outrage. Lord Patrician Cadkins is trying to steal my bear from under my nose. Wait. Cadkins, what do you have to say? Well, it's not his bear. I was about to buy this beast from an adventurer in the Tatterlands when Chief Ascendial turned up shouting and raving about Skuriron. Skurinorn? Tell me about this bear. She's a magnificent specimen, and she'd be a great addition to my menagerie. And who is Skurinorn? The northern goddess of medicine and knowledge, you damn idiot. The bear wears her mark upon her brow, clear as day. Before we go into this vote, last time we doubted the north, trees came alive and started rampaging across our kingdom. Maybe we should take what they have to say serious about these gods. All right, what should be done about this bear? It's sacred. Chief Ascendial should have the bear, which lowers my wealth. Finders keepers, Lord Patrician Cadkins can have the bear, which lowers my that's wealth, not treasury. That's your guys' wealth, whatever. Or encourage a bidding war between the nobles. I'm just gonna do an iron choice here. And if I get it right, then I get it right. What do you guys think? Does Ascendial get the bear? Does Patrician get the bear? Or do we have him bid over it? It's my bear! I think people are afraid because the last time we doubted the north, all of the things came alive, right? God bear stays in the north. It's tied. Oh, it's tied. I need a tiebreaker. Somebody needs to break the tie between A and C. I need one more person to vote between A and C. I can't close it with a tie. What happens if I close it with a tie? Do I choose? There we go. We got the bid in. Thank you, Courtney. Dead Courtney with the vote. In a furious back and forth, the nobles battle it out for ownership of the bear. My authority goes up. Eventually, Lord Patrician Cadkins wins out. The Tatterlands adventure is delighted and goes away with more money than she knows what to do with. The Defiance is dropped on the Patrician's coast, but Cadkins has lost all of the wealth. I imagine this bear will rampage across the south. Naturally, the chiefs aren't happy to have lost their sacred symbol, but there's little they can do. Defiance is 8. Ugh. I'm sorry, North. I'm sorry. The bear turns out to be a fearsome creature with bright white fur and intent green eyes, and she's vast. Even on all fours, she's taller than a wagon. She's transported to the coast, sedated by special herbs, and Patrician Cadkins anticipates sellout attendance at his zoo. Here we go. No, don't rebel. I have your claiming on I married you. All right, time for an auction. So what are we auctioning this time? A library, which raises stability, a prison, which lowers stability, a observatory, which lowers faith, a theater, which lowers authority, a cathedral, which raises faith, and a grand bazaar, which raises trade. The only person that wants the trade rated is myself. Can I bid on, can I use the treasury to bid? Alan, you switch kingdoms? It switched your kingdoms mid-story? Blue wants stability to go down, so prison makes sense. Purple wants faith to go down, so an observatory makes sense. Patricians are really trying to lower the treasury, which I guess there's not much you can do here, but you can play spoil sport and put all your money into stopping one of the others from achieving their goals. A does directly counter blue. That is true. Who's got the money? That is the question. All right, time's up. We have lowered the faith in the counts, which furthers their schemes. Mixicotl with the 2,000 contributor down to 300 wealth. And then Ascendial with the 1150 contributor to the prison to potentially imprison the people that stole your bear. All right. This rebellion report is going to be scary. The Chiefs of the North on the verge of rebellion. The Counts and the Patricians are not able to rebel. The North wants stability to drop to 4 by next season. The Patricians want the treasury to drop to 1,500. And the Chiefs, and the Counts want their faith to be at 4 or less. All right. Look, the trees are attacking. Let's go talk about my heir. Your marriage to Lascal is not what you hoped. Yeah, I kind of opened my big mouth. He seldom sleeps in your bed, and over breakfast you exchange only a few frosty words before he departs to meet some friends for a card game. The last thing on my mind is procuring an heir, but the needs of the kingdom must prevail. Congratulations are in order. The royal wedding was a magnificent affair. Feels more like a life sentence than a wedding. Oh, don't be so dramatic. I mean, the North is pretty damn dramatic, don't you think? You've done well so far, but something is still missing. An heir. You need someone young whose loyalty is assured. A child of your own would do the trick, even if they're a bastard. Or the youngest of your mini cousins. What if they're like half fish? Are we cool with half fish heirs in our kingdom? My husband and I will have a child together. I'm pretty sure I have a bastard child lying around somewhere. I will make my youngest cousin my heir, or I will adopt a lowborn child from the orphanage. My husband and I are going to have a child together. We're doing this. The traditional method. No one will object to that. I'll arrange for you to take a month off from ruling so you can get down to business. I'm not entirely sure the logistics of that, but it's going to be a fun month. All right, let's go see what the trees are doing. There you go. Turducken's right. We're going to have the wizards are going to help us, right? The wizards can help make it like, I wish that only like same-sex couples can have babies in this kingdom. Perfect. Wish granted. All right, the trees are attacking. It's Chief Stranger Wasp. Your Majesty, ever since those damn bird brain counts tried to cut down our ancient grove, the trees have been rampaging across the north. Ha! You just said the forest was haunted. Lots of forests are haunted. You should have said composed of ancient cursed trees that swallow people whole. Yes, Newt, well said. The grove is older than the kingdom itself. It's no wonder it held such power. Please, Your Majesty, assemble the council. We have to appease the trees. So, we can set fire to the north. Holy shit. We can search for a wizard to destroy the trees, which cripples the treasury. We can bring in Eastern soldiers to help fight. Their military is 5. Or the chiefs can deal with this alone, which I don't think they can. I feel like you guys are going to go for either one or two. The North is going to want to set fire to the North, ironically. The patricians are going to want to pay the money to destroy the trees. But what does purple want? Counts, tell me what you want. How can I appease the counts here? There's no way we're getting unity on this vote. I don't know that I really... I'm just going to let you guys handle the vote. I'm hands off on this one. The North voting to set fire to their own country. The patricians trying to spend all of our treasury on a wizard to destroy the trees. And it seems like the East is coming in and saying the chiefs can deal with this alone. God, you're devastating my treasury. If my treasury goes to 0, I lose. All right, well, with the help of one defector, with the help of Rock and Rolla, the wizard, we are using our wizard wish on the trees. What can be done to stop the army of angry trees from devastating the North? Rebel, stop it, you two, stop it, no. You send out a call for a wizard. You're expecting a kind of plant sorcerer to answer, but the one who eventually arrives could be more of a surprise. Before they appear, you hear faint jingling bells approaching the council chamber. It's Dom with the jingle collar. Windows start to crack. Finally, your wine glass shatters as the door opens. Apologies for your windows, your majesty, majesty, majesty. It's just one of those things. I can't help it. Dude's got a loud voice. By the 9th, my spectacles. Given that Brisk doesn't appear to have a jaw or a tongue, you're not sure how they're talking. It's not in your head. You can actually hear them, as can everyone else. What are the bells for? To make sure everyone knows where I am. I get lost sometimes, but my apprentices have yet to find me. So you're a wizard? I'm Brisk, Lord of the Bells. Jingle, jingle, jingle. I'm the Wizard of Sound and Silence. Silence, silence. I will help solve your tree problem. Get on with it then. Patience, meet me at the edge of their lands and I will allow you to speak to them by giving them a voice. Voice. Brisk ambles out slowly. He would give him a voice. He ambles. Why does my camera keep doing that? Ambles out of the chamber or takes some time to travel to the north. It seems to be the only solution. The trees continue their rampages in the meantime and abducting hapless citizens from their village. The farming is now barren in the north. 6 people have voted to rebel? Come on, North. Come on. The council session has ended for the day, so you're quite surprised when Conti Sandal 2K22 corners you in a back passage of my castle before dusk. What up, Sandal? Greetings, your grace. Apologies for surprising you like that. You're so sneaky. But I have an urgent matter that I thought you'd want to hear in private before I go to the council. Your husband, the king consort, how can I put this? He owes me a lot of money. Gambling debts mainly. He borrowed quite a lot for me to recover some lost funds. But now it's time to collect. And he's been avoiding me. Take the money and leave us alone. 2,000 treasury. No. Officers, arrest this fool and throw them in the dungeons, or I can't help you with this. Sandel, thanks for coming to me with this very Interesting offer. Let me just take you right to yeah, let's go down here, down these stairs under the castle, right down here. This is this is our treasury right here behind this bar slam. The defiance is now aggravated and your wealth has dropped. You have met the treasury called the darkest dungeon cell. I'm sorry, I have a spouse to impress. You release them once an agreement has been reached. You'll think twice before threatening the king consort again. End season. Yeah, I got a husband. Sitting on a bench outside a sun-bleached villa, two patricians of the coast meet to plot their latest scheme. What do I owe this pleasure, Madam Treasurer? Give it a rest. You know why I'm here. Let's just hurry up, shall we? Where do I sign? Here, and here, and here. There you go. You've got what you wanted. Now give me the money. Of course. Goodbye, Madam Treasurer. Do my eyes deceive me? Was that the royal treasurer you were speaking with? Indeed, my friend. Good news. With the king's gold running out, the treasurer was willing to sell off some of the kingdom's roads and bridges. Soon, this kingdom will be ours. But what will we do when we own everything? All right, what's your last scheme, patricians? Do you turn the king into your proud corporate mascot, raising stability? Or do you mercilessly extract wealth from the kingdom until it collapses by lowering authority? I will say this, chiefs, you currently have an army of trees rampaging through your lands, and I can negotiate. And if you rebel, which it looks like you're going to, I'm definitely gonna not help you. All right, you guys are gonna lower authority. I mean, that's fine. My authority's pretty high. I'm fine with that. You'll never accomplish that. We've invested a lot of money in this kingdom. It's about time we started turning a profit. But what about the king? Won't he try to stop us? The key word there is try, my friend. For the final stages of your scheme, you must lower authority to 4 or less. By next season. Up in the north, the kingdom's not exactly peaceful. But there's still no way we can stage the abduction of the king without being noticed. We need chaos. The chief's aim is to lower stability to 4 or less. Hasn't happened. All right, you can set different taxes for each of the regions here, or bribe regions to keep them sweet. Each option has different defiance. Okay. The chiefs strike a rich vein of iron, making them wealth. Okay. If I lower your defiance, can you not rebel? If I do this, can you not rebel? Oh, I can't tax you because you've rebelled already. Okay, fair. We're gonna cruel tax the patricians. And that's it. It could cruel tax both, but I think we're good. Sindel, don't worry. You were released after you paid your bail. That's what the story said. All right, kingdom is in rebellion. The first side to earn 5 victory points will win. We are in a rebellion thing now. Victory points are earned through events. If the rebels are victorious, the monarch is overthrown. So it's the chiefs versus the counts and the patricians. You guys are the loyalists, and the rebels are the north. You know, I could just like your my husband. All right. Oh, I gotta see the zoo. Lackluster. It's Lord Patrician Cadkins. Your esteemed highness, I fear our menagerie is failing to thrive. We thought the bear would be the star of the show, but she just sits in her enclosure looking sad. No one wants to see her. Maybe she wants company? The Tatterlands might yield another bear of her type. Do we find the bear a companion? Bring the bear to live in the royal palace? Or should we put on a grand feast for the bear? I'm just going to call for unity and run the vote. Can chiefs not vote anymore? Because they rebelled or chiefs out of voting? I don't see a single blue vote on the board, so it makes sense. I almost got my call for unity up. All right, closing the vote. We're finding the bear companion. All green. The treasury's down to 950. The defiance has dropped from the patricians. We return having lost an eye, but gained a large sedated bear. Once the second bear is safely installed in the enclosure, both beasts cheer up. People flock to Cadkins' menagerie to lay eyes on these majestic creatures. Wealth has gone up for Cadkins. Trade is now prosperous. Let's run this rebellion thing. At long last, the chiefs have reached their boiling point. You are confronted in your throne room by Chief Demeter Deme, her tattoo seeming to shift in the light. I, the chiefs of the north, will rip that false crown from your head and stomp it into the mud. We will be fighting for glory, for honor, and for Asgal, the true king. My kingdom stability has dropped. My authority is now dropped to credible. This is a formal declaration of war. The next time we see each other will be on the battlefield. Seize her. Or one day I will see your head on a spike. Seize her. Where's my guards? Come along now, traitors. Get the chop. What? Boy, you can't do this. I am an envoy. See how the king's tyranny grows worse by the day. Your watchman wastes no chimes. Chief Demeter Deme is dragged out into the courtyard and her head is struck from her soldiers. Chief Demeter has died. But Demeter II has joined the council. I didn't expect them to move so boldly, Your Majesty. How did things get this bad? The leader of the rebellion is Chief Snev. He is citing your past transgressions as reason for the uprising, allowing the patricians to have the sacred bear of Skuranorn, angering the ancient tree grove for the sake of some lumber. Not to mention the time you mentioned you jailed a noble for trying to collect some debts. I did that for my husband who's from the north. Is it really because of that? Well, that's their excuse. In reality, it's not about you. It's a power grab. The chiefs are formidable, but not undefeatable. I hope they don't persuade any other regions to join in their rebellion. That would be disastrous. So this is it. A civil war. That's right, Your Majesty. The kingdom is divided. There will be a lot of death and suffering before this is all over. I can't wait. I'll go dig out the trebuchets. Okay, we never dealt with the trees. All right, opening strike. Too long have those bastards in the crownlands held us down. Too long have they called us heathens and mocked our way of life. Aye, it's Master Athelius. Now is the time to take up our axes and fight back. Morgana is with us. We'll burn their churches and string up their lying priests. Aye, eyes in the chat from the chiefs. Aye. Now I ask you, brave chiefs of the free north, where will we strike first? We can launch a preemptive strike against the patricians to cripple their military capabilities. If we suspect the counts may join our cause, we can call them to war. They'll be more likely to join us if the king's authority is low. Or finally, we could send off an assassin to nip this in the bud. Dishonorable, of course, but convenient. All right, chiefs, this is your chance. How do you guys plan to throw me over? Do you launch a preemptive strike on the patricians? You have a 90% chance to win with that military strike. Do you call upon the counts to join your cause with a 50% chance? Or do you send an assassin after the king, which almost bankrupts the kingdom, actually? Oh, no, that's wealth. That's your guys' money. It's pretty good. They only have a 1 military, so honestly, I count on the patricians' coin, but I don't know that we count on their military. And you guys know why this military is so strong, right? It's the Raven soldiers we made at the beginning. Voting has closed. You're going to launch a preemptive strike on patricians. So patricians, if there was ever a miracle 10% win, this is what I want for you guys. The chiefs launch a surprise attack on the coast, slashing and burning their way across fields and farmlands. They catch a regiment of coastal army unawares and spring an ambush, slaughtering them to a man. Common folk whisper that the battleground will be stained red for a generation. Your military challenge succeeded. The rebels gain a victory point. The coast military has dropped to 0, and the farming is now meager. Are you going to take this, patricians? The gods are good. Down with the king. The northern soldiers return home in triumph, leaving the coast devastated in their wake. When this started, all I wanted to do was increase some trade, y'all. All right, monarch's vote, 1 extra vote. How noble's vote is hidden. I'm not taking any of those. There's a war in my hands. I don't need laws. All right, 1 victory point for the rebels. Captured loyalists, a great battle, and a pinch point. Let's start with a great battle. Yeah, Trey's historical. And I just expect the fish people to come to my rescue any minute now. Vast armies darken the landscape. But at least that's what I like to. I skipped it, but most of my time spent in the safety of my palace, poring over a great map with my marshal. The army of the north is advancing on the capital, led by that treacherous cur, Chief Snev. I've received word from the commander of our loyalist forces in the coast. If they march now, they'll intercept the chiefs in a matter of days. Alternatively, they could join forces with the army of the east. It's risky, but together they'd have a higher chance of defeating the chiefs. What are your orders? You guys don't have... The patricians have no army to take on the chiefs directly. You guys should join forces for sure. Yeah, what forces in the coast, Zara? You said it right. Very well, your majesty. I'll relay your orders to Lord Patrician Random Brain, the commander in the field. Hopefully they do as they're told. God knows treachery can thrive on the battlefield. Oh, patricians, we have our orders, but should we follow them? This is like vote for the patricians of the coast. Do you defy orders and send the coast army to fight the rebels directly? Do you follow orders and link up with the counts? Or do you just hang back and let the rebels march on the capital without any challenge? Your strongest ally is the counts. So it's going to be up to you to rely on them. Remember, your schemes are really far along. Your schemes don't succeed unless the crown stays stable. If I'm toppled, all your scheming's for naught. Right? Amanda, Anicio, Gork, and Scriobomb. I see you, and I see what you're doing to this kingdom. You are staying out and not obeying orders. That's treachery. The whole city holds its breath. You stew in your palace, waiting anxiously for your marshal's return. Finally, she bursts into your throne room. Those damn cowards! Treacherous, yellow-bellied, lily-livered, chicken-hearted bastards! Marshal, report. Instead of engaging the enemy or linking up with the counts, the patricians just told the army to just hang back and do nothing? My authority has dropped, which is good for you guys, but the rebels have gained 3 victory points, and the defiance is up. You guys are close to being able to join them. They sat pretty in their camp and scratched their arses while the entire northern army walked on by. But why? A healthy mix of cowardice, self-interest, and lack of confidence in your abilities. I imagine a lack of an army was a factor. They're hedging their bets and waiting to see who comes out on top. The bastards. You have no choice but to rely on the counts. Counts, we're in this together, right? Do I lead the troops personally? I'm not a battlefield commander. No. And my fate, too. Ha! That's true, never fear your majesty. If we do lose this, there are worse fates than a swift head chopping. Yeah, I'll send the pentagram. I think we still got this. We still got this. Let's go to the pinch point. This is going to be pivotal. All right, it's Demeter. Demeter the second, because I executed your envoy. Glory awaits Alan Michael. Our forces will soon march across the river Voltine in the east, and after that it's a clear road to the capital. A river crossing is a dangerous time for any army. We should do something unexpected. Build rafts downstream and float our troops across. Are you playing Oregon Trail? That's an Oregon Trail move. By the old gods, what cowardice is this? If we take the main bridge and fortify it, we'll control half the east. I urge caution. All right, who do you guys want to support? Are you building rafts downstream away from the trouble? Or are you seizing the day, capturing and holding the main bridge? Or do you cross the bridge and collapse it behind you? It's weird that a rebellion choice raises my authority as a king. Ebo Kitty, you're not even sure what team I'm on. Let's see. Here you are. You're a Countess of the East. A fresh face to our thing. Oh, look at, I just realized the patricians are like low on people. All right. Voting has closed. You're voting to build rafts downstream away from trouble. Great cowardice. But if that's our decision, the Chiefs cross the river downstream on primitive rafts. They're able to get closer to the capital while avoiding ambush by the counts. My authority goes up, which is not good for the patrician. Sorry. The peasant folk whisper the chiefs are afraid of the king's loyalists. I agree with that. All right, let's see this captured loyalist. It's Chief Leorjet. Oh, good news! Reynara Haroons, in my latest sortie, I captured a key leader of the loyalist forces. A scourge on you, Leorjet. You poxy snollyguster. Release me at once. Someone gag our guest. I'm tired of listening to her. I don't know what. I can't do accents. That's better. Now we can hear ourselves think. So, Renara Haroons, what should we do with our prize? Should we execute her and send her head to the king? Do we extract key information for her by any means necessary? Do you free her as a show of mercy? Or do you demand a hefty ransom from the patricians? It's your rebellion. Choose wisely. Choose wisely, our nobles, our chiefs. %60 chance of success. Seems like you got a good shot. Voting has closed. All right, let's see what you get. No, where is your honor? You dogs, I am a prisoner and a noble. Lady Patrician Skriobomb is dragged away and handed over to an expert interrogator, Wink, who asks a set of pointed questions. I get it, pointed questions. Before Lady Patrician Skriobomb expires, this is the second. So, no, I think that's a mistake. Before Lady Patricia Skriobomb the second expires, but actually it's the first that expired, she gives up some most useful information about coastal troop movements. Challenge succeeded. Welcome to the Council, Skriobomb the second. Information which the chiefs put to good use, ambushing a column of soldiers and slaughtering them to a man. Military can't go any lower, but the rebels just gained another freaking victory point. Is that the game? Word of Lady Patrician Skriobomb II's poor treatment soon spreads back to the coast. This only serves to draw the patricians closer to the king. I think that's it. I think the North has won. Mostly because the patricians stood back and did nothing. Oh, but the counts have finished their scheme. A count arrives to a remote, unremarkable spot of moorland. Soon, another joins him. The church is scrambling for power. The High Inquisitor is losing her grip on the populace. Ooh, how exquisite. Then we can make our move unseen. We must invite a demon to possess the king. The ancient book describes 2 demons, each attracted to a different aspect of a human mind. Do you vote to bring in Rashmasa, the mad tyrant, the cockroach queen, raising authority? Or do you bring in Murraymark, Duke of Greed, the face of all coins, and raise the treasury? Yeah, this is right. You still got one more step. And although I would love to give myself over to your demon in any hopes of saving my kingdom, I think the rebellions have already won. Yeah, the cockroach queen makes sense. Voting has closed. You must raise authority and summon the cockroach king. The cockroach queen was once a favored servant of the ninth god, but when she betrayed him, he banished her to the deepest caves, where she became a twisted agent of the seventh. She desires to rise to power once more. She will be attracted to a powerful king whose authority is unquestioned. All right, you must raise my authority to 7. Your Majesty, these upstarts are saying that they have a right to your throne. No doubt, the nobles are already scheming to crown their region's preferred claimant. The kingdom is in rebellion. The first side to earn 5 victory points will win. That's 5 victory points. I think that's the game. I think the rebels have won with the rebellion. Uh-oh. Let's see my fate. The triumph of the rebellion. Your marshal rides out to lead your forces against the rebels, full of confidence. When she returns a few days later, she's on a stretcher. One of her legs is a bloody stump. Bad news, Your Majesty. The rebels are far stronger than we ever anticipated. How could this be? I led the armies of the counts and the patricians out for a final last-ditch battle. We could not win. It was a massacre. Thousands of lives lost in the space of a day. Can we still win? Pray to the ninth, your majesty. Apart from him, you're on your own. She is carried. We had aerial superiority. Good callback, evil. She is carried away and dies the next night. Before long, the great army of the chiefs sprawls outside your city walls. Confident in their victory, they mount their assault immediately. The fighting lasts all night, and the sun rises on a scene of carnage and chaos. The main gates were breached at midnight, and since then you've heard nothing outside but screams and howls and the clash of blades. Half the capital is in flames. Soldiers rush back and forth, shouting panicked orders. Without your marshal to lead them, they're like headless chickens. Your honor guard, okay. Patricians, honor guard time. Your honor guard are in the streets outside the palace, building a barricade and organizing last-ditch defenses. Vital work, but you're vulnerable without them by your side. The royal court is empty, except for you and your husband. The husband that I jailed somebody to prevent him from having to pay the debts. The husband who has liege to the rebellion. Uh-oh. A very patient assassin. The farting husband. That's right. There must be a way out of here, right? Oh, Lascaux's actually with me. Some secret passage you saved for the rainy day? Tell me this isn't the end. Let's ask the spy master. You wait and stew. Outside, the screams and clashes get louder. Finally, your spy master arrives, out of breath, her face stained by smoke and blood. They'll be here any moment, your majesty. You must saddle your horse and escape the city. I know of a secret passage. The gods are good. We're saved. I agree. Show me where to go. You follow the spy master down through a hidden trapdoor behind your throne. Lascaux accompanies you, muttering prayers. The capital is lost, but you can get it back. The patricians have agreed to shelter you while you plot your revenge. The patricians that were the biggest cause of my downfall? I'll be little more than their puppet king, but you'll be alive. After crawling down a secret tunnel for what feels like hours, you spill out into a leafy courtyard. 3 horses are waiting. As you saddle them up, you hear a wet thud behind you, followed by the sound of something rolling across the floor. Your spy master is lying dead on the ground. Her head is missing. Chief Snev stands over the body, flanked by a dozen soldiers. His battle axe sounds red. Snev just said, "Oh, I just got back. What did I miss? You missed you coming back to kill me." Snev, pause for a second. Didn't I marry your child? Didn't I honor you by taking your child as my husband? Is this how you repay us? Never liked her. Ideas above her station. Chief Snev, I wondered when you'd show your miserable face. This is your own child. You stole our bear thief. I didn't steal the bear. The bear was stolen by the South. Quiet. You have nothing to fear. I'm not here for you. So, you knew about the escape route. You're not the only one with spies. Yeah, I married your son. With a triumphant smirk, Chief Snev makes a sharp gesture. The northern warriors step forward. Battle axes at the ready. Come on, honor guard. Come on, honor guard. You can pray to your false god, but it will do you no good. Morgana has spun the fates against you. I, being an honorable king, do the sensible option, draw my sword, throw it, and run for my life. You're caught before you can make 10 steps. Instead of killing you, the soldiers seize you and drag you back towards the palace. Your ordeal isn't over. Your husband is dragged off too, kicking and screaming. You never see him again. You can only hope that Chief Snev kept his promise. No harm came to him. After a week rotting in your own dungeon, you're marched out onto a public platform, jeered at by thousands of peasants. You cringe under a barrage of rotten fruit and fresh dung. Chief Snev sits in the front row, grinning. The rebels have won. The capital has been taken. You are a former king. The executioner waits silently, holding an axe bigger than you. If you have any last words, now's the time. Everything I did for my sexy fish prince. I place my head on the block. The executioner lifts his massive axe. Wait! I suddenly thought of much better last words, one that involve a pun. I turn to the executioner to tell him, but the axe is already falling. Thunk. Your head bounces into Chief Snev's lap, and your reign comes to a gruesome end. Having lost to the rebellious chiefs, King Medieval Steve was dragged out of the palace and decapitated in the city square. As a reward for staying loyal to the king, the top counts were beheaded. Oh, sorry. In public, the survivors swore loyalty to the new regime. In private, they swore vengeance. After losing the civil war, the patricians retreated to within their borders and immediately began plotting against the usurper. The chiefs launched a rebellion that toppled the king and devastated the kingdom. In the aftermath, nobody could stop them from taking the throne, and Asgal was crowned to half-guarded cheers from the traumatized common folk. All right, King Medieval Steve the Unready. 2 years and 3 months was the game length. My spouse was Lascal of the North. My successor is King Asgal. The wealthiest noble, Zarl, with 1950. Congratulations. The poorest noble, Cadkins. You went all in on that bear and invested in the zoo. I think your zoo has long-term potential, right? We funded a mate. I think you're going to be okay in the long run. And for the kingdom, we ended with pretty decent stats. Honestly, if you're going to live in one of these kingdoms, the counts came out pretty decent in all this. And that is King of the Castle. Thank you for coming along and being part of this silly story. I'm sorry that my head got chopped off. I thought we were close to it. Honestly, is there a way for like... Here's one of the things. A couple of comments on this game. One, I feel like I had no chance at increasing trade. Like, almost no decisions came up that was like, let's boost trade. And of course, you guys aren't going to boost trade. So like, I feel like it's just... You're sort of like dealt a losing hand as the king. I think that's kind of part of the fun of the game. Secondly, I think it was like a missed opportunity for the husband from the north and the rebellion from the north to kind of connect. It made it seem like it was so disconnected that my husband wasn't a planted spy, wasn't somehow embraced and put on the throne. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that should have played in more at the story at the end. And also the unresolved wizarding thing. That wizard took my money and said, I'll meet you where the trees are. And then never showed up, just left. The goddamn wizard stole the treasury and didn't fulfill his obligations. I would have loved to turn the trees against the military in the north, right? If I had been able to follow that plot thread, we could have potentially turned the rebellion the other way. I think the wizard got interrupted by the rebellion. I think the story, it can only generate 3 events per thing, and once it shifted to rebellion, that's all that mattered. I'm sad my fish romance didn't go anywhere. In a future run, I'll have to lean, if I get the fish option again, I'll have to find, I will know that it's not about wooing and it's more about bribing or something. Yeah, and so that's actually the interesting thing, right? So like that's a good point. If we hit continue game, for instance, right? Now we have King Asgal, who has taken over, right? So King Asgal is the new king. So if I hit continue instead of a new campaign, we will continue on with the story, right? This new king is presiding. We pick up where we left off with the North in like open rebellion defiance. The patricians are like scheming. They want revenge. The counts want revenge. And so like, assuming you guys had fun with this, if this is the kind of thing you like to do every so often, we can do like cozy Sundays, like every so often and play King of the Castle. Just let us know. If you're not on our Discord, go to our Discord, join.thegrim.gg, where we have the ability to talk about this kind of stuff. Maybe I'll start the King of the Castle thread under something, maybe under video games, and we can talk about King of the Castle as a game. I enjoy these kinds of games. I don't know if there's more games like this out there. Let me go to my throne. I don't know if there's more games like this out there that allow Twitch chat to interact so well. But being able to get Twitch chat so involved and having fun, I think is a lot of fun. Exactly, Alpha. Games that involve the chat in some way, and I don't know if there's more like this. If you guys have other suggestions for games like this, I think it's fun. Next week, I don't know about every week, Alpha, but like maybe every other week, we could do it like opposite Cozy, right? Cozy is on some weeks and King of the Castle. I'm gonna go ahead and cover this up, but this is me. I'm headless now. I should lose my head. It should be the opposite. I should crop it so I have no head. But I had a lot of fun. Yeah, even if we just switch up the games, that's right, Alan. I don't know what else there is that we could play, but I had fun. Hit us up on our Discord. A lot of you guys don't came to this because we were playing King of the Castle, and you don't know what we normally do. We normally play a game called Blood on the Clock Tower, which is a social deduction game. We do like 2 or 3 streams a week, depending on the week. Generally 3 streams, depending on what days. And it's a social deduction game where you get in a circle and you have a demon and an evil team trying to scheme and kill the others and survive. So if you enjoy social deduction games, Blood on the Clock Tower is the best social deduction game that's out there. So you can come watch and learn how that game works. We offer games on our Discord so you can play with us. We also do tons of board game arena. I want to do board game arena tournaments on some of these mornings. We can play like real-time challengers as like a big like a bracket that advances and see who the best challengers are, which could be fun. What else? Beginner games. Yeah, we have beginner games. So in a few hours, we're actually running games which specialize in teaching you how to play the game. So if you want to learn a brand new game, go to our Discord, check it out. It'll be at 4 o'clock Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern time. If you're in the EU, it'll be too late for you probably, unless you're a night owl like some of them. But we do run some of those games on Thursdays and Saturdays in those time zones. We have EU time zones and US time zones that are fun. Sundays are more East Coast time zones. Wednesdays are more West Coast time zone friendly, and Thursdays and Saturdays are our time zones for the EU. Yeah, 7 p.m. GMT on Thursdays and Saturday nights. King of the Castle is a lot of fun. I'm not going to wait so long to play it again. I think we waited like a year and a half or 2 years. It was like a year and a half between games. We're planning our 24-hour game day. I think I would like to try to slot in some King of the Castle. The runs that we do seem to take just over 2 hours, like between 2 and 2.5 hours. So I probably need to make sure to leave that much time in our schedule for a run like this, unless you just overthrow me really quick. But yeah, I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Sundays, whether it's nighttime or you're getting ready to start your day. Yeah, hit a follow. We go live plenty of times. I hope. Yeah, I don't got much more to say. I don't think I'll ever win this game. And those of you who like play this game more and were excited about this game specifically, have you ever seen a Monarch actually pull off a win? It seems like not, right? Going to work, Alan Michael. No problem. Thank you, Anicio. Thank you, Snev. Thank you, Alan Michael. Thank you, everyone else. We'll see you guys. I got another stream tomorrow. You've won as king before in like a Twitch setting with like Twitch, or are you talking about like the small? Because the other option, right, that we didn't talk about when you start a game is you can play a party game, which instead of opening up Twitch chat, you could have 24 people. Like we could do like we do a blind clock tower, we get 12 players in a circle, and we could do a focus game where the nobles are much more intently like involved in the story and less Twitch chat focused, and then you could talk about it. It might be a fun way to experience this game at some point. We'll see. It doesn't have the Twitch chat interaction, which is unfortunate. You can do up to 24 people, but anyway, take it easy, stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you guys on the flip side. Do I have an offline screen? I do have an offline screen. All right. Good day, everyone.